Baltimore Ravens at Jacksonville Jaguars. Speaking of teams, the Ravens have a little bit of breathing room right now. They've got the number 1 seed right now. The Jaguars they're not desperate, but they're getting there. They haven't played very well recently. They've only got a 1-game lead on the Texans, and they've got a 1.5 game lead because they got the tiebreakers with the Colts. But they're both right there breathing down their necks, and they could find themselves in a 3-way tie for the division at the end of this week. And here come the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. That is going to be a hell of a game. How you feel about this one?
I think that the Ravens are going to take care of business. This is a credit to Trevor Lawrence. You can say whatever you want about him, but the fact that he played last week after suffering that ankle injury the week prior is unbelievable. I'm sure he was, chock full of Toradol or whatever the heck they call it.
Toradol,
whatever shots. I mean, he probably was feeling nothing on that ankle when it was playing, but this Ravens team is going to come after him and they're going to make him get off the spot. This is going to be one where he can't just be, sit back pocket quarterback. They're going to move him because they're going to be able to isolate guys in that pretty poor Jacksonville offensive line. So I think the Ravens, we mentioned earlier, I don't know who you said, somebody else being the hottest team in football. I think it's the Ravens. They've won 7 of their last 8. They're winning games in different ways. Also, which to me is always a mark of a good team. That's one thing that always scares me about this Broncos team is that every single win looks exactly the same. Can you win football games when this area doesn't work or this script happens? Ravens have been doing that over this. Lamar Jackson, even though the stats aren't as good, I think he's still top 3 MVP for me this season because of the gravity he plays with. Yeah, the Ravens are number 1, I think, EPA per rush team in football this season, even though Lamar isn't running like normal. It's not because Gus Edwards is an amazing running back. It's not because their offensive line is first-round pick after first-round pick. You lost Mark Andrews, your best pass catcher weapon on this team too, and they're still crazy good offensive efficiency this season. Lamar is playing better quarterbacking, I think, than we've ever seen from him. He needs to be there in the conversation with me, Scott. I'd put him at 3rd behind Dak and Purdy right now, but I'm going to go with the Ravens. They are the cream of the crop in the AFC, and I think they're going to take care of business versus the Jags.
I think Lamar's been leading some MVP races.
He should be. It was early in the season, but I don't hear it now.
I had this guy on my page talking like, Dak Prescott's nowhere near an MVP level. He needs to win a Super Bowl or, make a playoff run. I'm like, guys, the MVP is a regular season award. And they award it before the Super Bowl. So your criteria for what you're judging Dak Prescott on is irrelevant. You can laugh at that for all you want, but you're wrong. Michael Lewinsky says Ravens will take care of the Jags. I agree on this. We talk about desperation. We talk about this. When one team's better than the other and we start talking about matchups, it doesn't necessarily matter if if the Ravens come in and play their game. You look at the Jacksonville Jaguars were hot. They won 7 of 8 or so. They got blown out at home by the 49ers. Okay, well, the 49ers are really good. But there's a theme here. They're 2-3 in their last 5 games. They beat Tennessee. They beat Houston. Then they lose to Cincinnati. Then they lose to Cleveland. So their 3 losses come to San Francisco, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. What do those teams have in common?
I don't know. Scott, tell me.
Good defense and running games.
Travels.
Good defense and running games. What are the Baltimore Ravens going to bring to Jacksonville?
Good defense.
Good defense and running games.
Yeah.
I think I think the matchup does not bode well for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the race is going to be on in the AFC South.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting out there, no doubt. I mean, Houston lost like all their weapons too, right? Like Tank Dell after the year, Dalton Schultz has been injured, Nico Collins is hurt now.
Nico Collins got hurt.
I don't know the status. I remember seeing he went down. Is Hamilton done for the season? Kyle Hamilton suffered an injury last week. I think I read it was a knee. I don't know the extent of it right now, but he's been one who's
listed as questionable on the official report right now.
Okay, so not for the season. He might be out. What they've been able to do with Kyle Hamilton's ability to blitz has been phenomenal out there. Mike McDonald there's a reason he's considered one of the head coaching candidates. We'll have to talk coaching again at some point, Scott, because
might do that Monday.
Yeah, maybe. That might be a bad thing for the Falcons if we're talking about that on Monday.
If the Falcons lose, we will do a recap. We will do more coaching candidates on Monday morning on the Falcons podcast.